Right. Push, could you just plug that in, please, for me? Plug that in. Right. So we'll begin. So thank you for attending Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh. And that's just opening some space. And that space is to talk openly, to discuss, to allow ourselves to look at things in different ways. And so I'll start with something else. I'll start with how wisdom is different from knowledge. And it's important to realize this. And the second question to ask yourself for each one is, where is your source of wisdom now? Where is it? Right? Wherever it may be, it makes no difference, but it's an important question to ask. Where do I get my gyan? Right? Where do I get my wisdom from? So to communicate knowledge is not hard. It's just a PowerPoint presentation and 10 minutes and you communicate knowledge. But to communicate wisdom, you need a different mechanism. It's a different way of communicating. So story goes, so every ancient wisdom tradition, Buddhists, Zen, Taoists, Sikhs, Hindus, Jains, Sufis, Wahhabi Islam, Christianity, Judaism, all wisdom traditions, not the religious stuff, the actual root, communicate through teaching stories. And these stories are simple, but they communicate something quite profound about life. So a story goes that back some time ago, that there was an individual who had a kingdom. And back in the day, when whether you had a kingdom or whether you were an emperor or king or whatever you were, the chieftain of that place, what you required around you were people with wisdom, not people with knowledge. It wasn't experts. I don't want experts. I want those who've lived the life. I don't want talking heads. Right? I don't want professors, because these people live in a different world. They don't live in the lived experiential world. So this individual, this chieftain, her most valued source of wisdom was a very old man who was her ambassador, her right hand, and he died. So she said, well, look, I need another one. So the call went out, we need to find the smartest people that are out there. And there were many tests, and they came across 3 people that were very, very smart. One of them appeared a little bit different from the other 2. The other 2 were extremely intelligent. They'd passed all the tests. So this woman thought, well, I need to see if this individual really are wise. So I need to devise a test. So a day before the test, the ultimate test, the news goes out that she's going to lock all 3 of them in a prison with a lock that has been engineered by people from another part of the world. So they have no knowledge of it. And whoever gets out first gets the job, if they get out. So 2 of them thought, oh, all of them understood what the task was. 2 of them thought, let's get hold of all the knowledge we can. So they went and got hold of all sorts of books, apparatus, all sorts of things. While the other one thought he'd sleep. The following day, the 2 who were really hyped up because they hadn't slept that well And this individual was locked in this room and the door shut. And their task was to undo the lock and to get out. So as soon as they were locked, two of them took out all the hidden books they had and the tools and started looking at the make of that particular lock, realizing how big it was. But there was some writing around it, which was supposed to give them a clue. So they kept looking, doing their thing, while that chap who'd slept simply stared at the lock, wouldn't do anything. 20 minutes later, he pushed the door and walked out. Right? And the woman thought, wow, you're the man. You're the man for the job. So the rest of the subjects said, well, yeah, but he didn't undo the lock, which was a valid point. And her answer was, those who think they're in a prison will try and work a way out of the prison. But those who don't even know they're in a prison, they're the smartest ones. Because that's the illusion we're in, that we're not in a prison. So first, critical thinking, that all that's been communicated to you allows you and me to remain in a prison. And this prison is, you can't think beyond that. You're not allowed now to think beyond that. Think about it. You're not allowed to think on certain levels. You're not allowed to think about that because it's offensive. Where does it end? So you have to ask yourself, is this prison getting tighter or is this prison getting open? And what's the point of living in this prison? And there are some good points. The prison feeds you, keeps you in work, get the economy going, houses you, but you have to work for it. But it's a nice prison. It's a comfortable prison. But it's okay to be imprisoned in that. And whatever the rules are, we just take it on because it's comfortable. But then there are those, for them, they realize this is not the way to live. Maybe there's an alternative. And this is where the wisdom traditions are in their own. That's what it means. The fact that the same thing has been reiterated for 2,500 years, say, for example, in the Buddhist tradition, what does that tell you? Think they were just making it up and writing it down? Like our pandemic came and went. Do you think it'll be remembered in 100 years? No. Yet that's been remembered. This is what we mean by a wisdom tradition. So, depending on where the mind is, the prison you're in, the thinking space you're in, is the quality of your prison, right? So in this prison, this is a prison of ignorance. This is a prison of darkness. This is a prison where we give value to time, but not to life. This is a prison where we give value to pieces of paper and digits and not our breath. What is your life, your body worth without your breath? Not yours. It isn't something you brought from somewhere that, hey, this is my breath. What's its value without it? See, our priorities have shifted. There was another prison before this. That was a prison of rituals. Yoga took its birth from there. Yeah, all the rituals that you find in many of the old traditions come from that age. That was their prison. They were prison before that, and there was a moment which were free. So when they talk about these four ages within the paradigm of the Indic worldview, Satyajug, clarity, Dwapar, the sense of I, that you actually think you matter and you are a different part, or you are a part from the ocean from what you emerged. That we actually believe that, even though our reality is you've emerged from pretty much nothing and you will submerge into pretty much nothing. But that doesn't mean you don't exist. These type of understandings, opening our worldview, was always present before, allowed us. That was your initiation. Your initiation was to allow yourself to move into a different paradigm of thinking. This is what we call my vibrations changed, my frequencies changed, because it's no longer consumed with fear. Why should I be concerned about fear when I realize that I am part and parcel of the ocean? What difference does it make? A different way of looking. There are, while in our biomedical, so there are two ways of looking at life, right? One looks at life as interconnected, that the whole thing is interconnected, the whole thing is one, and the whole thing is like an infinite number of waves emerging and submerging from this ocean. And that's what all of us are. Just consciousness that's doing its thing. Nothing to do with you, nothing to do with me. No one is important. No one is important. No wave is more important than the other. No way. Either they're not important or they're all important because it's part of the ocean. The waves may begin to think that, I am actually separated. I exist as a different phenomenon. I am separated from my friends. That illusion is encouraged in one worldview. You are a separate entity. You're a separate entity. You're a separate entity. Individualism. And that has a value. Self-development up to self-actualization. But beyond self-actualization, we have self-realization. We have different gradients of self-realization before we arrive to self-sovereignty, what it means to be human. And every tradition has had examples of them, hundreds of them. And they're not the ones who are in the churches or the temples or the gurdwaras. None of them. They're the ones who actually demonstrated what it means to be alive and what the value of life is, where your personal ethics emerge and they are expressed in sovereignty, in being able to allow yourself to express in your wholeness. And in that moment, it's not about fear. We need fear in order to discover courage. So fear is not a bad thing, but it's needed to discover courage. So one part, ego, ego, ego. The other part, no ego, no ego, no ego. The reality is you need both. You need the ego to develop it, to make sure it's healthy and not as screwed up as our politicians or so-called individuals who see themselves as experts. And all it is just expression of the ego. Why don't we ask those that we consider to be wise today to advise us, hey, how do you think we should handle the situations? What do you think Lama would say? What do you think the Buddhists would say? Ask yourself. And you will realize that at the moment, the dominant worldview is this egoic one, On the other side, there is this other one. Both of them by themselves are poisonous. One makes you complacent, the other makes you an aggressor. And that's where the duality happens. We have to bring it together. You need an ego, but you need a healthy ego, not one that's consumed with hatred for others because they don't look like you, they haven't been jabbed like you, or they don't think like you. Until we can cross that simple boundary in ourselves, we're going to go through this. So, the month of March, as we said in January, February, March, as the spring energy grows, we're going to find violence and this rage just begin to express itself, just come out, emerge in ways we never thought was possible. That emergence is where we are. It's where we are. Until we can understand that our state of mind and the universe is all interconnected. It's all interconnected. And the human consciousness and human intention are critical. At the moment, they're too distracted. They're all over the place. And as long as it's distracted, it's not able to find its stability. And hence, we find everyone is anxious. Stress begins to grow. We find things to do with muscles, with skeleton. Our whole body seems to have an impact because of this. And it's all related. So what can we do? Forget about changing the world because you can't do it. But what we can do is to cultivate our own space in which we may experience a moment of silence. And in that moment of silence, much can align itself and bring us into a balance. So, explore different worldviews. Let's do some meditation. Okay. So, as usual, we will go through a protocol, and it's always useful to go through it and take your time over it. You know, you only have this one body. You've got to take care of it and have to look at it with affection. So as you breathe in, making sure that your back is straight and upright, your shoulders are pulled back a little bit, your eyes are closed gently, your mouth is closed. If you're unable to breathe through your nose, of course, you can breathe through the mouth. As you breathe in, bring your focus to your whole self as best as you can. Notice your back, notice your neck. If you pull your chin in slightly, you'll notice the back of the neck stretching. And that aligns the head as well. So it's a comfortable posture. You're erect, upright. Back is as straight as it can be, but not rigid. As you take your next breath in, once again, becoming aware of the body as a whole. And as you begin to become aware of the body, you will notice that you can sense the body as a whole, but not necessarily as an outline. And see if there's anything dominant that draws your attention within your body, like a pain, an ache, a tightness, an itch. Next breath in. Bring your focus now to the seat you're on. And you will notice whatever's holding you, the chair or the floor, that you're supported. And you're not going to go anywhere. You're held in place. And you will notice that there are sensations where your body makes contact with whatever you sit on. Bring your focus to those sensations. Hold your focus and then gently bring it up towards your hips, moving up, becoming aware of your hips. And once again, remember that all we're trying to do is simply notice sensation, sense that part of the body. So we're not imagining it, we're not thinking about it, sensing it. Then moving your focus down your thighs, from your knees, you move down to your ankles, noticing what's going on with these different parts of the body. Notice your feet, and then notice the soles of your feet. If you draw your focus back to the chair or the seat you're on, again, recognizing how well you held in place. In other words, you can't be anywhere else. Located, encased in this moment and in this place. Notice that the back is straight and upright. And as you breathe in, bringing your focus up your back, from your lower back, moving up to your middle back. And then slowly moving up towards your shoulder blades. Notice your shoulders. And then as you breathe out, bring your focus down from your shoulders to your elbows, as best as you can. And then moving your awareness down towards your wrists. And then notice the palms. And hold your focus there as best as you can. Notice your fingers. And as you breathe in, bring your focus to your eyes. And notice the darkness. Recognizing that you have awareness. In fact, you are awareness. And you have awareness of the back of your eyelids. You can have awareness of your thoughts, awareness of your sensations. Notice the darkness. And this awareness can move even behind you, becoming aware of the back of your head. Awareness. As you breathe out, allow your eyes, this part, to soften. As the breath comes in, bring your focus to your mouth, in particular your tongue. Does it feel firm or does it feel soft? Allow it to soften. Notice the sensations within your mouth. And then as you breathe out, relaxing your face, bringing your focus just beneath your nose. And as the breath comes in, once again, bring your focus to yourself as best as you can. Sensing your body, as a whole. Scanning it from the top of your head all the way down, searching for anything that's dominant. Sensation, itch, tightness, pain. Just locate, no commentary, no judgment. Next breath in, bring your focus to your inner space. By that we mean your thoughts and how we feel. Bringing your focus first towards your thoughts. What appears to be happening there? Bring your focus to your chest. Hold it at the center of your chest, noticing the movement of your chest with the breath. And if you move your focus a bit deeper into yourself, almost like you're in the center of yourself, and hold your focus there. Begin to notice how you're actually feeling right now. Comfortable, uncomfortable. Settled, unsettled. Dukh, sukh. And on your next breath out, if you open your awareness and begin to notice the sounds around you. When you're ready, bring your focus just beneath your nose and begin to watch the movement of your breath. Allowing your breath to breathe by itself. Watching the in-breath come in from the start till the end. Watching the out-breath go out from the start till the end. Breathing in, you know you're breathing in. Breathing out, you know you're breathing out. If you get distracted from your breath by my voice or a thought, notice the distraction, go back to your breath. Allow the breath to breathe by itself. Watching the in-breath moving in, watching the out-breath moving out. Stay with your breath. Notice the length of your in-breath comparing to the length of your out-breath. Notice that your breath has 4 parts. The in-breath that comes in, stops, there's a gap. Out-breath that goes out, stops, there's a gap. See if you can notice these 4 parts of your breath. Stay with your breath. Follow your out-breath all the way till the end. And notice the gap before the in-breath begins. Following your out-breath all the way till the end. Alert yet relaxed. And as you follow your out-breath, notice how the body relaxes further. Stay with your breath. No matter when the mind comes in, notice the distraction, go back to your breath, following your out-breath all the way till the end. Notice how you're breathing now. How does the breath feel? Does it feel heavy or does it feel light? Stay with your breath. Does your breath feel fast or does it feel slow? Stay with your breath. Does your breath have a sound? See if you can listen to the in-breath as it comes in and the out-breath as it goes out, as best as you can. Stay with the breath, listening to the in-breath as it comes in, out-breath as it goes out, as best as you can. Listening. On your next breath out, once again, begin to listen to the sounds around you, allowing the sounds to come to you, not looking for the sounds, not thinking about them, no commenting, no judging, simply listening. And allowing the sound of the bell to move us deeper into the silence. Once again, notice the stillness at the end of the bell. Gently bring your focus just beneath your nose, sitting with your breath in the silence. And as you sit here in silence with your breath, bring your focus to the quality of your experience. If there is calmness, notice the calm. If it feels still, notice the stillness. Notice that in this moment, the absence of fear, the absence of anger. Notice in this moment the absence of time. The eternal now. And notice how this moment simply becomes the following, creating itself from itself. Notice while everything around you may be changing and moving, within you there's a sense of stillness. Your essential self, beyond your thoughts. On your next breath out, expanding your awareness, becoming aware of your body as best as you can. Notice that you're still sitting in the same place you began, held in place. Take a moment to notice how the body feels. A moment to notice how you feel within yourself. Noticing that there are sensations where your body makes contact with the chair or the floor or the whatever you're sitting or lying on, bringing your awareness to your body. Notice you can sense your hips, your thighs, moving your awareness gently down towards your ankles. Notice your feet. Notice the soles of your feet. Bringing your focus back to whatever you're sitting on. Bring your attention to the back. Straight, upright. Shoulders, arms, hands are relaxed and comfortable. Eyes are still closed. Your mouth is still closed. And your face is relaxed. Coming back to your breath. And now as the breath comes in, you can sense your body. And as the breath goes out, you can sense your body. When you hear the next bell, use this bell to draw a few deep breaths in, and then in your own good time, gently opening your eyes, having taken some time for yourself.